Well, it's Front Row Bill and JAYBONE. Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on YouTube and Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide. Bill, I've been rehearsing that for the last 5 minutes in my head. How was that?
Very professional. You would think you're a professional podcaster, J-Bone. Great job. It's great to be back. Feels like I haven't seen you in forever.
I had some inspiration from my shirt I got here.
Ooh,
some old school Run DMC.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Kings of old school right there. How you doing, Bill? Good to see you.
Good to see you, J-Bone. I obviously when's the last time I saw you? It's been a little bit. I was at a wrestling show up in New York last Thursday, so I could not make the show. And then obviously I was at the Multiverse show the week before. That's why I was not on the show previously.
Nice.
So
that was a great show. That was definitely one of the highlights of the weekend.
Yeah, the only show I was at that weekend. But we already have some bits here from Rayline. Thank you, Rayline.
Thank you, Rayline. Much love, brother. Very appreciated.
And as we start, we got the coach thanking them this as well, I believe. So let's get a little. Well, let's start off with a little coach before we even get to
Impact Wrestling.
It was a coachless show tonight. A little weird.
It was. We'll get into the review, but it was an interesting show tonight. It was a lot of storyline, like the matches. There weren't a ton of matches, but they got time. The matches tonight. Obviously, this was the go home show for Rebellion. So a lot of things storyline wise coming together tonight. But we'll get into that for sure. But hold on, we can't even slow down here because we got Courtney with the super sticker. Thank you, Courtney.
Impact Wrestling.
Courtney's having a rough night, so hey, you know what?
Yeah,
we all heard the bad news at the end of the show, but hey, we're all gonna.
We did hear the bad news, and I know. Should we get right into the news, J-Bone?
Hit it.
It's the one, the only, your favorite segment of the night. It's a little thing we like to call J-Bone's News.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now, the Jabronski with J-Bone's News.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
Jabronsky. It's been a while since I heard that. Yeah, there's a few things to talk about here, certainly. Before we dive into everything, I want to do just a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you folks that are joining us right now, as we've had a few minutes to get in, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when we go live. And we want to thank our sponsor, Manscaped, as we always do. I don't think I mentioned them last week, so I felt kind of bad. So we got to make sure we give them some.
Bad. How about the boys downstairs?
Oh yeah, they've been neglected. I need to give them some attention. I always feel like a 12-year-old, like Alicia says, like a 12-year-old naughty kid. You know, we just start talking about it. So yeah, make sure you check out the promo in the description of the video. Get yourself 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped.com. The code is down there. Go check it out. So yeah, we dive into tonight's news. Unfortunately, we find out as part of the updated card for Rebellion this Sunday. It's this Sunday, Bill. Man, it snuck up on us. So much going on.
A lot of shows so close together, from
Yeah.
Sacrifice to Multiverse to Rebellion. It's like you blinked, you missed it. So this was a feat to get this all accomplished. And then major injuries. Well, one we know is a major injury. The other one we'll discuss. I see a lot of people already talking in the chat about this. So let us know as we're getting into it, what you guys think and what's going to happen to Rebellion. I see a lot of talk on Mickie, and then which we'll get into, and then obviously with the world title being on the line. New champions galore will be crowned this Sunday.
Yeah, it's really gonna be a page-turning experience in professional wrestling, in Impact Wrestling. A lot of new champions. I'm sure not across the board, but whether depending on what you like more, what you pay attention to more, your two main titles are going to change no matter what. And I know a lot of people are bummed out about Mickie, but let's clear that up immediately. She's forfeiting her title because she's not cleared to wrestle. She's not. I don't think she's. Now, the way she did it is very. How do I say this without sounding too corny? Was very Undertaker-esque. She left her hat in there. She left the title in the ring. She left her hat in the ring, which makes me, if you look at how she did it, it looks like she retired. I don't think she retired.
It was very, for Impact TNA fans, very similar to Kurt Angle leaving the boots in the ring.
Yeah. So I think it's just she's going to heal up. She's been going nonstop for the last few years in Impact. Proudly, she's represented our company with nothing but professionalism and tenacity. She's amazing. She is a legend,
No doubt.
Just because she isn't in some other Hall of Fame doesn't mean she doesn't belong in all the Hall of Fame. She's amazing. Okay. Give her time. She'll probably walk away for a few weeks, a few tapings, a few months. That's my
remember, that's what happened when she lost to Chelsea before the last rodeo.
Yeah.
It was like a build-in break of a handful of taping cycles. Yeah. And my guess is this is similar. I kind of earlier, I don't know if you saw this, J-Bone, but and we can take a look at it. Maybe we'll pull it up on a share screen or Rooney at some point. But Impact was promoting the Chicago tapings coming up at the end of the month.
Yes.
I'll see you at. And on the poster,
cross your fingers on that one. I've got some news.
Yeah.
I'll get into that in a second.
But on those posters, who was absent? Mickie James. And who's front and center? We'll get into that discussion. A face painted Macklin.
Oh, just looking badass.
So you don't want to say some of those things can be spoilers, but you never know. They could be.
Well, yeah, whether he's going to be champ or not, he is absolutely going to be one of the top heels in the company. I mean,
we saw what he did tonight. We'll go over it, but you do something during the national anthem, you're asking for heat.
Oof, and that's not the first time. Guy knows what he's doing. I mean, that's old school heat. That's old school, and when I'm talking about old school, I'm talking about some of my first memories growing up is watching the Iron Sheik.
I knew you were going Iron Sheik.
and the Russian who always
Nikolai
came
Volkov.
up, Nikolai Volkov. They'd come out there, they'd raise their flags, and Nikolai Volkov would sing his Russian anthem. Da, 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 da. And people would be throwing stuff and booing them out of the building. Yeah, you got a bunch of proud Canadians so excited to get some Impact Wrestling in their neck of the woods, and out comes this Macklin guy, just oh man. Depending on where you are, you can get chased out of the country for that.
You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful with certain crowds.
remember Chris Jericho got chased out of the arena for that.
Yeah, you're right, but I think for the most part, people they get it. They get it.
Yeah.
But it is good to see. It is good to see. It's definitely a tried and true measure in wrestling.
Yeah.
So Macklin, like I said, I think that was going to be the playbook with Josh because he is kind of Mr. Canada.
Yeah.
But obviously we're now in the midst of the tour because they're hitting a lot of Canada for the foreseeable future. So it makes sense to stick to that route because you want them to, like I've always been talking about with Macklin, as I've been talking about the push and the future world champion Macklin, he was kind of a tweener because he almost can't help himself when he comes in to try to get cheers. It's like he wants to be cheered, but then he wants to be booed. So now it's full heel right now. Obviously, there is no face right now to Steve Macklin.
Oh yeah.
But at some point over the news segment, there is some face of Steve Macklin because him, Deanna, and Miss Alicia Edwards are doing a charity rundown at Disney this weekend, which you can help support.
Oh, cool. Very cool. What are they doing down there?
They're doing a charity. I'm here. I'll shoot you the link because I know Lish has been the one really promoting it, but they all have.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to get it right, but I'll shoot it to you in the chat. We can share it during the news segment here.
Okay.
But there is some other news, J-Bone, while I'm talking about that. And that is the long-term re-signing of our fantastic play-by-play man, Penn State alumni, Tom Hannafin.
Oh, it's amazing.
They locked up Tom.
Absolutely amazing. Super stoked about
great
that.
Move. Great move.
Yeah. We also found out within the last few days, I think it was Easter Sunday is when the news hit officially that Jody Threat actually is signed with Impact Wrestling. Yep. Great to see. Great to see.
Yeah, because I thought, and I don't know for how long, I don't know how detailed she may have got, but it, like, with all those candidates coming up, it made a lot of sense for her definitely to be here for the foreseeable future. So it's good to see that it is.
Yeah. So, all right. So while you're getting that link, I got a little personal news for the public. I found out today I visited a new orthopedic doctor regarding my knee, and unfortunately, I am going to have surgery for a torn meniscus. Folks, don't get old; it sucks. So I'm going to be having that next week, and I'm not assuming I'm going to be gone, but I really don't know what I'm going to be feeling like a couple days out from that. He tells me it's a 15-minute procedure just to help clean up the knee and do whatever he's got to do. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I got to arrange some physical therapy and whatnot. So whatever you guys do, whether it's prayers, sending positive vibes, energy, whatever it is, it's all appreciated. And I always appreciate it. I've been saying this for a long time. I've got the best damn team in podcasting. Whether you see everyone here or not, we all keep in close contact with each other throughout the week. Trent and Kyle and Alicia and Mark and Bill and myself, we all talk. And the infamous Truck from up north there. Hey, we all talk to each other every single day. And we have the most amazing audience. So thank you, everyone. I'm seeing the messages right here. Ronan, put that up there, Bill.
Yeah.
Stop with the death matches, Jay. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No, I retired. I retired from death matches a long time.
Yeah, I'm more in the death match scene than Jay.
I never,
poor Jay.
I never got started. I never even got started. All right, let me bring up.
But you're a big supporter of this guy.
Impact Wrestling!
Yes, there we go. Okay, so.
But you got this, Jay. You got this, Jay. And obviously,
you.
we're all here. Whatever Jay needs in the meantime, hopefully you see him sooner rather than later. But if not, don't worry. TNI is not going anywhere. With everybody help and support, we'll make sure you still get the same content.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one way or another. Whether I'm just helping out behind the scenes or I'm here, whatever, you'll still get it. The one thing that I'm worried about the most, honestly, is if I get to see everyone in Chicago at the end of the month. That's the one thing I'm worried about the most. And because I'm actually going to be seeing the doc the day before that weekend.
Oh, really?
That's going to be the hardest part.
Do you follow up?
Yeah, that's my follow-up is 2 weeks out from next Tuesday.
Modern medicine's crazy, Jay.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I've got a good feeling about this doc. It's very cool. Very, very, very friendly. And so we'll see what happens. But I'll keep you
and for those of you wondering, and obviously fingers crossed for Jay here, but I know Justin has been in the Discord discussing about, like, during these Chicago tapings, the TNI crew is known to help facilitate a lunch before the show to go get some food, some Chicago deep dish, some Chinese buffet. So there's definitely some things on the table. As we get a little closer, we'll discuss it. So those that are interested, hop into Discord. Let us know if you want to attend. And hopefully we can all meet up at least one of the days.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Stay tuned. And Ash, thank you. I think that's the cue for the present.
Impact Wrestling!
And I want to let you guys know, and number one, thank you for joining us, Ash. I want to let you guys know, if you missed it, Wednesday, you got a twofer. You got Team TNI UK, and you also got the We Talk Indies crew later that night. So please go check out their comment. Go check out their content. I'm reading stuff in the comments. Sorry. Go check out their content and help support all the shows here. It really does. It really does help. And Danny's asking, do you like my good comment? Yes, congratulations. You can type. I did not see your comment. We're going to keep going, though, okay? We're not going to hold up the show for one comment.
Oh, you're a legend. You're a legend, J-Bo.
Oh, what does he say? What does he say here?
Said you were a legend. You're a TNI legend.
He said, "Don't cry, J-Bone, and the new Aces is here. What a show!" And also, J-Bone get well. Okay, I'm sorry for my smart aleck. Being a smart aleck.
Smart allegory.
Yeah, it's new words here. You're going to hear a new word every week here. No, not really, but thank you. Danny, you get a too sweet from J-Bone.
There you go. And speaking of too sweet, J-Bone, I know a couple people are saying it. It was announced today that Impact Rebellion sold out. Another one.
Where is that?
Oh, Rebellion? It is.
Yeah,
it is
I
in
know it's up
Toronto at the Rebel Complex.
Oh, it is at the Rebel. Okay, because I saw
so
something
for you,
about
a lot of those will be familiar. Very good looking venue on television. It's a nightclub, so it has lights, and it definitely gives off a good look.
That's the one where Aries lost to Morrison, right? Is that the same one? He stormed off.
No. That was in New York. That was at Melrose.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I could have sworn that was. Oh, okay.
The Rebel Complex is where Aries fought Moose when Moose was face, and everyone thought he was going over. This guy.
That's it. I knew Aries was a part of it somehow. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. We got another. There you go. The crazy anime gamer. Jay, you got this. It'll take more than a bad knee and surgery to keep you down. Impact Wrestling. I'll tell you, that's now the fight call for J-Bone and his surgery here. And it's the coach.
Impact Wrestling!
I might have to contact the coach about getting a special seating in Chicago, depending on what happens with my knee.
Yeah, you might need to move to the end.
I might have to get an aisle seat. I might, yeah. Which means, unfortunately, I wouldn't be sitting next to my buddy Justin. But I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll worry about that closer, because when they set up stuff, they change stuff all the time. Sometimes they add seating, they change it a little bit.
Yeah, they'll always. Well, I know for Rebellion coming up, they added. Like on the entrance, they added like another section on each. Like there was like, I think about 8 seats. They added like another 8 on both sides. So, and there's always a chance as production happens, you get even more. And hey, there's our favorite ref, Daniel Spencer, in the house.
Daniel Spencer, you get a too sweet, brother. Great show tonight. Stoked about Rebellion and even more stuff coming down the road.
Rayline. There's the advice. Dr. Ross can help you out, J-Bone.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. You know what? I might have to contact the good old Dr. Ross. Maybe he could give me some tips.
Although, Dr. Ross, he didn't get Mickie ready in time, so I don't know. I don't know about the good doctor right now.
Well, yeah, here's a funny little story about what happened today, and I tell you, I needed this because I was telling my wife on the way to the hospital when I was getting checked out by my new orthopedic doctor. I told her, I said, I'm scared. You know, I'm usually pretty cool about stuff happening to me, but this, you know, it's like it was one thing to go through the pandemic and I got sick a couple times, but you know, it is what it is. Everything's good now. I'm not too worried about that no more. Still cautious once in a while, but I told her, I said, I'm really scared about this. And I get up there and man, that crew, that the doc and his whole nurses team and everyone that I was dealing with today, absolutely tremendous. In fact, they were a little busy today. They had a few different appointments in the hallway where I was sitting, you know, in the different rooms, you know, and the guy next to me apparently had his he tore his Achilles tendon. And one of the nurses came in, part of scheduling, and said, "Hey, I'm here, part of scheduling, and I hear you tore your Achilles tendon. We're going to get you set up for that." And I started giggling under my mask. I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? I'm not. No, I'm not. No, that's the guy down the hallway. That's not me. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. Who are you? And I'm like, I laughed even harder.
They
I was
didn't
like,
know it's
this is
J
great.
Bone.
It's me. It's
Wait. Did they sound like this?
Which one's Jay?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like, you know, a bunch of big Kevs walking down the hallway. Which one's Jay? I'm like, I'm right here. So yeah, that was I needed that. I needed that a lot today. So all right, so let me I know we're getting a little off track here. Let me do a little share screen of Rooney as to what you were talking about earlier. This is from Alicia's just Lish or at Mrs. AI.
Anything is possible.
Whatever.
AI.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is it's going for muscular dystrophy, which is a great cause here, and they got the link here. So just go to her page and you'll see all the information there.
Yeah.
To help.
Disney Pixar Cars 5K. Like,
there you go.
Donate to help support, and I believe they all have links. So they'll Lish has a link, Deanna has a link, and Macklin has a link. So you can go to any of their pages. I think it either ends tonight or tomorrow. So feel free to help donate, and hopefully they can meet their goals. And obviously, it's all for charity, which is great to see.
There you go. And if you're bored later, you can find out why CM Punk and Palpatine is trending. Anyways,
same reason, I'm sure.
I hear they're working together. That's terrifying. Wait, what? No. So yeah, great cause. Anything else? News? Oh, I did want to bring up the new diary that came out a couple days ago.
Oh yes, Trey
Miguel's. It is amazing. I know I've said that about all these, but man, George Barbosa does such a damn good job at having the Impact Wrestling roster tell their true life stories, about what they were dealing with and how wrestling, in a sense, like saved their life. They turned to wrestling and it became what helped get them through, whatever life was dealing them. And
these are fantastic. I know they obviously you can see them online. It'd be great for these to get more on the TV program if possible, or maybe even on BTI, like just feature them even more because they are so well done. And it's a great series. It really gives that in-depth perspective, which you always want character when you watch it on TV, but this gets even more in-depth, which once again, a 1 week, 2 hour program, BTI, you don't get a ton of time to go as in-depth as obviously they do here, so that they can do that and offer this. It's great. And they do a good job of promoting it, but just would like to see it even more. And speaking of promotion, J-Bone, also Access TV, I don't know if you noticed it, but they're doing like a show that now has featured both Eddie Edwards and Josh Alexander, like an 80s show. And like Josh Alexander is talking about his favorite sitcoms. So it's something very cool. We talked about it from the beginning. Remember when Impact first showed up on Access? Speaking of Windsor, it was that Windsor show. And it was that steel cage match. But they were advertising. It was like they had a commercial. It was like rock and wrestling. Like the old school. But then we know Access has it, but there hasn't really been the synergy between the two. But
Yeah.
now that Impact Town is showing up on an Access TV program that's not about wrestling, I think you're finally starting to see it. Now, obviously, the pandemic probably delayed some of these plans, but it's great to see it right now. So hopefully we get to see more of it. Like last week it was Eddie, this week it's Josh, and I see Ashley in there. I think it's just called 80s, I think. But it's very cool to see the Impact talent being featured on other programs on the network.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's especially if you're a little older, you take a trip down memory lane with some of this stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know we like to get all up in the talk of ratings and things like that, but I know some of the ratings did come out on Access that like Impact is the #1 show on the network, that it's done. Like I think last week was some of its best numbers this year. So,
wow.
So it's definitely trending up, which is good to see. And obviously you're seeing it with sold out shows. So they kind of all go together. So once again, very
cool. Yeah, I like the other content. I don't take too much time lately to watch other stuff. I should, but hey, that's just life, and you watch what you can when you can. Yeah, go check that stuff out.
Everyone's talking in the chat about a lot of 80s kids, which is cool to see.
Yeah. Ash, you're not old. Stop.
I am an 80s kid, but I am an early 80s kid.
There you go.
81.
There you go.
81.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
Awesome period of time.
It is.
Growing up
so
in the
much
80s,
fun.
in the early 90s.
I loved it.
Very cool.
I loved it. There was something else. Oh, I'm gonna piggyback off of what I saw because I try to watch Bison's little blurbs he does a few times a week. The little what the hell you call them?
TNI and 60?
Yeah. The TNI and 60s he does on YouTube. Yeah, I love those. Yeah, he started doing those, and at first I didn't really think much of them, but they've really taken off, and I totally appreciate him doing that. It's a lot of hard work, and I love them. Please go check them out. Let them know you're watching them. He talked about some news, and we'll wrap this up and we'll get into tonight's stuff. But found out that Callihan's got his indie company Revolver, Pro Wrestling Revolver, and it kind of goes around the Midwest, Ohio, and wherever. The next show that they're going to do in the next month or so, whenever, excuse me, is damn, I'm gonna forget myself a monster. Speaking of monsters, he's got his buddy Moxley versus former Intercontinental Champion Jake Crist at the show. And apparently, now something that I didn't really know, apparently those two go way back, and that Crist and Mox used to wrestle each other way back in the classic IWA
CZW?
South or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, they go way back.
Did I say Intercontinental?
Yeah. X Division. We know what you meant, J-Bo.
Wait till after the surgery, man. The reviews are going to get insane, man.
I thought you were going to say Honky Tonk Man. Because there's only one greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
And he drives a caddy down to the ring. X Division. I'm sorry. Yeah, I unfortunately I don't have autocorrect for my mouth. Shit just flies out. I wish. Oh boy, it'll definitely get me in trouble with this audience. Impact is they're just going to cancel us. So that's
look at this dumbass.
Yeah, thanks, Callihan. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking Revolver. He had to chime in.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure how much those shows are, but I know they're on Fight TV, and it might even be free if you get the what's that called, the Fight Plus, where you pay like $8 a month, and you can see X amount of shows free a month between boxing and all the GCW stuff. So,
well, I know I'm seeing if it's still valid, but I know I just got emailed a code for Revolver. I think they had a sale on tickets.
oh my
God. It's still good.
Mayor's got a comment here. J-Bone, do they allow lollipops before your surgery? I'm gonna call my doc tomorrow. I'm gonna find out.
Well, I'm just taking a look. I assume it's still active. I got it 2 days ago. But if you are interested in that Mayhem for All show on Saturday, May 6th, use the promo code Iowa10, because this is in Iowa, Iowa10, for $10 off tickets.
Nice. Oh, you're talking about to be there live.
To be there live.
Okay, you're not talking about to order it on Fight.
No.
Okay, I'm glad I said that, because at first I was like, oh, to order it. No, to buy the tickets.
You know me, my mind only goes to being there live, Jay.
Right, because you're you're front row, Bill.
But it looks like a pretty good card.
Oh, dude, it's.
Oh yeah, and there's Ash confirming it's on Fight Plus. So
it is.
Subscribe to Fight Plus.
And I tell you what, I didn't pull the trigger, and it's just because I ran out of time. I was just too busy with work and shit. I didn't have time to watch all the shows, but they had a great deal on Fight Plus. If you got there was it $8 a month, you get a free week. You could have spent that free week watching all the WrestleCon shows. Holy crap. Now, it doesn't include the Impact show because that's a special one. There was a few special ones. There was Ring of Honor, Impact, Multiverse show, and then there was a Joshi show that you had to pay like, I don't know, it was like $15-20 for or something. It featured a ton of Joshi Japanese women wrestlers that were in the LA area for a special show. So.
Oh, and J-Bone, just to kind of give one last thing. Shop Impact's website, Slam Buddies now available.
Oh, you know what? Talk about those. I'm going to jump out for a second. I'm going to grab my drink, and I'll be right back, all right?
Okay. So just for anyone that's looking, the Slam Buddies are like the old wrestling buddies from back in the day. And there's Josh Alexander, Chris Bay, and Santino Marella with the Cobra. How about that? Son of my gun. So definitely, if you're interested, they still have the pre-orders for the action figures, also Wrestling Buddies. So if you remember them from back in the day or missed out and want one now, available. So definitely check them out. Head to shopimpact.com. Of course, Slam Buddies. I did not. I had some of the Hasbro action figures, but I did not have any Slam Buddies. I missed out on that for whatever reason. Don't know why. Let's get some more information here. We'll get that all figured out. But definitely. Oh, the Crazy Steve. Yeah, so just for anyone that doesn't know, because I know Josh one's very similar, if not the same one, he was selling at indie shows. I know a lot of wrestlers at indie shows are also getting into those Slam Buddies. So definitely check them out. But this one and the Slam Buddy for these three through Shop Impact are actually sponsored. I believe I'm just double checking if they are now, because I know a lot of them are kind of through the Cardona kind of connection, just like the action figures. But I'm seeing if these ones definitely are or not. Doesn't say they are, but they look very similar. So I know J-Bone wants that Santino one.
I'll tell you what, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, well, why does he have one? Because he's well known. He's well known in that gimmick.
Yeah, he was just at the Sirius Toronto office today doing interviews.
Yeah.
And his, of course, when he does the meet and greets, gets a long line. There's something to it. There's definitely something to it. I enjoy Santino, and we saw he got involved physically tonight.
Whether he gets 3 minutes in the match or 10 minutes in the match or whatever, it's going to be fun to see him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we'll go through the whole card at the end. Make sure everybody.
Jalen, I think it's time now for a little April 13th edition of Impact Wrestling on Access TV and YouTube Insiders.
There we go. Yeah, and just because I was running behind because of dinner and stuff, and I didn't even do a live reaction, and that's just because I didn't want to sit at my desk all night because just not super comfortable. So yeah, we're gonna keep this moving. So yeah, depending on how I'm feeling next week, you may get one, you may not. We'll see. The live reaction. But yeah, so this was a really, really good episode. Oh, and I do gotta say one thing. For those of you who do watch other things besides Impact Wrestling, I didn't do anything on my own podcast about this. I wanted to, I just didn't have time. Former TNA Impact, whatever you want to say, tag team champion, world title holder Jeff Hardy returned to wrestling last night on AEW, and I just want to quickly say good luck to him. I wish him well. He doesn't have to prove anything else in the world of professional wrestling, and I just hope he stays on the straight and narrow, and whatever time he has left in wrestling, he stays safe and sober. I just wanted to quick throw that in there.
I think we can all agree with that. I know a lot of, over the years, Jeff Hardy's been one of the most popular wrestlers at Impact shows.
Yeah.
So, and I know, hey, anytime, I think the crowd went crazy for him, which is great to see. But I'm with you. Just stay on the right path, sober. I know it's a struggle. So hopefully, if he's going to be wrestling, both things can happen. Because obviously it's been a tough couple years. So definitely wish it the best. If it can be done, great. If not, hopefully he gets out before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. So, all right. Yes, Mayor, this is actually, a part of the Impact review show. We are going to get to the review in another 45 minutes. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do it now.
Well, honestly, the matches, there were some long matches tonight, but there's not a lot of matches. So I think actually reviewing the show is going to be fairly quick.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up in like 15 minutes. Yeah, a lot of promo stuff. I wasn't sure how
they're selling a pay-per-view tonight.
Right. And I tell you what, their main titles, just those stories in themselves, in my professional podcasting opinion, sell this pay-per-view.
Yeah, you're going to see new champions crowned.
Everything else is just the icing on the cake. So yeah. All right. So go home episode of Impact Wrestling 4 Rebellion this Sunday. We're back to a Sunday for the pay-per-view. Some like it, some don't. Hey, it is what it is. We start out.
For those of you that don't know, this isn't like a sign that they're going to Sunday pay-per-views. This is more due to the venue.
Right.
Because
That's
for
what I
those
was
that don't know, it
assuming.
is a nightclub. So you can't run Friday or Saturday at a nightclub. That's
Right.
your best nights.
Right. People will be showing up and be like, "Hey, where's the drink specials?" And you can catch an elbow in the face, you know.
Yeah.
That's not good business.
Hey, hopefully you're promoting it heavy at the nightclub those nights before, but it's sold out. You just got the tickets for Monday.
There you go. There you go. Should be a blast. So we start out with
before we get to it, Jay, I'm sorry. BTI real quick. Because I see people talking about El Reverso in the chat, and El Reverso went against Johnny Swinger on BTI. So I'll tell you, J-Bone, I really thought tonight was the night that Johnny gets number one. And he didn't. El Reverso.
He didn't?
He did not win the match. First it was Barry Horowitz. Now it's El Reverso. I don't think it's happened anytime soon. But I think Johnny actually gave a recent interview, which I feel like we need Johnny back on the show because we always had technical difficulties with Johnny. But he gave an interview where I think he was saying, like, hey, he's on TV, and even if he's not winning, like, you just see like what he's doing. And that's why I think we all appreciate Johnny Swinger. He does not need to win. I think it'd be good to throw him a bone, maybe at least once a year with a win, but it's still very enjoyable. Still very enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, to answer Mayor's question in the chat here, he says, Bill, who is El Reverso? Is that, I'm probably confused here. I've probably, just didn't have enough coffee this morning. El Reverso, is that El Generico's distant cousin who went down to Mexico?
It seems like it. It seems like it.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a play on it. But okay. I remember seeing El Reverso at those first shows up in Canada. I actually believe he was used even probably during those Bound for Glory in Ottawa set. So he's been around up there, and he's a border city guy. So he definitely makes the rounds up there and has obviously you see as Sting says, a BTI crowd has no business being that amped. And they were. I was amped for Johnny Swinger. But amped nonetheless.
Amped, yes. So yeah, good for that. And was there anything special from the Iceman intel or no?
You know what? I saw the match live, but I don't. If anybody the intel, I did not see the intel. Sadly.
Okay,
so
well that would have aired tonight.
Yeah, that I did not see.
Okay, so yeah, I missed that. In fact, I was watching the YouTube version of the Impact Wrestling tonight.
Yeah, because I watched
it's all condensed, no commercials, just boom, boom, boom. All the way through. All right, here we go. So we got Kenny King versus Kaz. And this is supposed to be a bit of a preview of the what the hell are they calling it?
The Hardcore War. And it's also to get the advantage. Who gets that first person in?
Oh, yeah. Yes. The Hardcore War. In fact, you know what? I'm going to bring the event page just up so it's handy.
Yeah, because the end of this match will reveal how this got changed, the Hardcore War.
Yeah, and we got quite the reveal tonight as well, as far as who is in the match with Team Bully, which was really kind of a shocker.
Yeah, because when they came out, it was announced as Team Bully, and that with group is different by the end of the match, end of the show, and now Team Bully's looking strong.
Oh, super mega strong. I mean, between Masha, Bully, and with the new faces of Brian Myers, Moose, and Kenny King at their side. It's
Yeah,
I
well, we
don't
saw
think
what happened during this match where stuff got out of control, but then Myers interferes, and then Moose
right.
goes in and the best spear in the business.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Spears was he speared Kaz, right?
speared Kaz, and then
Yeah,
obviously that allows Kenny to get the 1-2-3.
yeah,
So advantage Team Bully, but it's going to be tough work for Team Dreamer.
yeah. Yeah, talk about working uphill. Jeez Louise. But fun. I mean, you know, interference aside, Kenny King and Kaz is a classic. You know, it
Oh
really
yeah,
is. So good to see. So Myers and Moose distract them and attack Kaz, giving Kenny King the win here. Next, we've got footage of Macklin interrupting the Canadian national anthem. It was something that happened like earlier in the evening there. Uh, what was your what was your feeling being there live and watching that happen?
well, when it happened, I can't say it was totally unexpected.
Yeah,
It seemed, I think we even talked about it with Josh or months ago. It's like that would be something to do. Get that instant heat, come out, do a national anthem type bit, and that's what happened here. And they did a good job because they were really focused on the crowd singing along to the anthem, and then bam, you get the Macklin theme come out, and then he's challenging people in the stands to fight.
yeah,
Nobody in this arena can beat me in a fight. And then
yeah.
who shows up behind them? Kushida.
And Kushida attacks him. Yeah. And man, I tell you, Kushida is over like Rover with Impact fans. And
And you got we can't not forget the connection Kushida does have to that area. He was
right,
trained by Scott D'Amore. He worked in Border City. He lived in Windsor for a period
right.
of time. So he has a
So
strong connection to that area.
right. So it's a major part of his coming up in the business, which is amazing to find out because I think a lot of fans just assume that he's just from Japan.
Mhm.
Which, yeah, he probably got, you know, a majority of his business time in New Japan, and that's a guess, but that's where I started seeing him, you know, and he was doing the time splitter stuff with Alex Shelley, and then he had some time in NXT, and um, man, he's just a blast to watch. And I tell you what, Bill, I've been watching a lot of classic Rey Mysterio stuff lately, ever since Rey Mysterio went in the Hall of Fame in the WWE. And I look at where Kushida is now, and he's so thankful to be in Impact Wrestling, getting this opportunity. And I think I read in an interview or something that he's excited because he's not going to get this opportunity anywhere else. And
Yeah, no, he's
it's
obviously
sad, but it's true.
heavily featured. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that is the thing with Impact, where if you see people come or go and wonder, should this person sign here or do a stint in Impact? Look how they use them. Like even if they were for a short, like the Jonas and things like that were here for brief periods of time, but yet you see like Morrissey, he seemed, if he stayed, he probably is either world champion right now or is about to. Like he was in that line when he left. That's when
yeah.
I was like, it's all Macklin now. Macklin's going to be the next guy.
Right.
And but that's what they do. Like they did even though he had come from up north, Macklin, he was not a featured player there. Very similar like EC3 when he came to TNA. they really built Macklin up to what he is now, and now a possible world champion. But Kushida, obviously, he had a lot of success elsewhere, but he's being heavily featured. He's fighting for the world title now, and it's legitimate. He's got a legitimate shot. He could do it, but you see, when Impact doesn't usually. This is what we talk about Impact. They just don't bring people in like some other companies just to stop them from going somewhere else. They only really bring you in if they have a plan for you.
Right.
If they think they can use you to tell a story.
Yeah.
And it's something.
And it's a great story. It really is. It does feel it kind of does feel like a Rey Mysterio-esque type story if you look at it a certain way. And you know, or so, you know, some other people may look at Kushida and say, well, it's almost like a David and Goliath type story where Macklin's kind of like this Goliath heel. You know, I'm not saying he's like 7 feet tall, but I'm just saying, you know, his ego and his attitude is that big. You know, you can look at it a bunch of different ways. Yeah. So Mayor says I'm picking Kushida to beat Macklin. No, actually I'm not. I'm Team Macklin, but I absolutely appreciate everything that Kushida is bringing in Impact Wrestling lately. All the way back from the time last summer when I was in Chicago with Bill, and I saw him come out with Motor City Machine Guns as the Time Splitters. That was so much. What's that?
The Time Machine.
The Time Machine. That was so much fun. And I don't even remember who they faced, if it was the Design or what it was. But that was so much fun to see those guys all flipping around the ring and doing their thing, running 100 miles an hour, just chaos at its finest in the squared circle.
No, it's been great to see Kushida, because I remember seeing Kushida years ago in Ring of Honor, and I was a huge fan back then. Because I bought a Time Splitter shirt back then of Kushida. So
nice.
Seeing him now at Impact, and I wasn't sure if it'd be more than a brief run, because I remember they had the T-shirt. I'm like, a T-shirt for one set of tapings? Because I didn't know if he'd be back again.
Yeah.
But then he wasn't. I guess it went from there to Vegas, I think, and he wasn't there. But then he showed up. He's been almost a fixture, which has been great to see.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And they had a bunch of promos throughout this show, just showing how important it is, you know. Next, we get the now they said this could lead to future X Division championship implications as far as a shot in the future, but it wasn't necessarily for the number 1 contendership. But we had Black Taurus, Lince, Dorado, the return of Laredo Kid.
Great to see.
So good. And also, last but certainly not least, Rich Swann. What'd you think of this, Bill?
Oh, this was a great match, and this was a surprise, because I don't think this match was even announced. And Impact's been doing a lot more announcing of matches for the live audience, like maybe a couple days before a show. So getting the return of Laredo Kid, and I think I had heard he redid something like an indie show or maybe something at AAA maybe a week or so before. So I kind of knew he was back, but I wasn't sure if he was going to be back at Impact soon or not.
Right.
So seeing him back here, and then obviously he wins this match, which was great to see. And that's not to say, like, I've been seeing Lince a lot on the indies. MLW, he's been making kind of the rounds. Big fan of his as well. And obviously he's a pro. Like he'll do this match, and he obviously did not win. So that's somebody they could bring in. And he pretty much came out and said, if you remember the multiverse match, due to the injuries and all, it was Leo Rush that filled in at the Multiverse show.
Mm.
But it was supposedly, Lince said he was asked, but he couldn't make it due to, I believe, his son's soccer game. So he had to turn it down. But so I think Impact that they offered that to him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lince again.
Yeah, like on a basis like we see Kushida, maybe,
Yeah.
Whether it's for like a run through the summer or a couple tapings, who knows?
Yeah, you can't go wrong, especially with Chicago coming up. Remember Chicago before? The Luchador is a big thing for Chicago. Like remember they had Bandito. Yeah, like if you can bring in Lince, that will help. That's not a bad thing for the fans there. So.
And Laredo Kid being back is going to be huge. He was a featured guy last time we were there, so that'll be great. Can't wait. But yeah, so Laredo Kid gets the win here. Great. Just a great match. And it's, the company changes, people come, people go, but man, one thing is always for certain is that the X division is always hot. You got Taurus, Lince Dorado, Laredo Kid, Rich Swann, and you look at all that and you almost forget who's in the card at Rebellion. It's Trey defending against both Jonathan Gresham and Speedball Mike Bailey. It's like, what?
And congrats to Mike Bailey for leading Mania Week in matches with 10.
Oh, no doubt. 10?
10 matches.
Unbelievable. 10 matches in, I'm guessing, 3 days? 4 days?
It was definitely Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He may have squeezed something in on Wednesday night, too. I think he did. So it was, but still, that's a heck of a workload.
Unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean, just Impact's just on fire. It's just great to see. Next, we get the a promo for the Ultimate X match featuring the tag titles being on the line. Motor City Machine Guns versus the defending the Bullet Club, or in this case, they're called ABC. And I'm going to go off the rails here just for a second. You're going to have to bear with me here. It's very interesting what's happening with the Bullet Club right now in different companies around the world. You've got the OGs, of course, in New Japan. You're not going to get rid of that until they say they'll be the ones to say when it's done. If it's done, and it's done. Impact Wrestling.
It's not in New Japan, it's done.
Right. I think Impact Wrestling is really lucky to have a piece of that, no matter how big or how small. I think Ace and Bay are doing an amazing job of that right now.
They're carrying it. They're carrying it right now because nobody has really joined them for a while now.
Kenta was, but it's been back and forth.
Yeah, you're right. Kenta and that, dude. But for the most part, they've been really standing on their own.
Yeah. But then if you look at what's happening even over in AEW, they got Juice Robinson and now Jay White, and they're calling that Bullet Club Black and Gold. So I'm wondering if Impact is going to get something in the soon to near future where they can call themselves, obviously not Black and Gold, but like, Bay and Ace and Bay wear a lot of like black and like purple and white. Maybe they'll throw a special color scheme into their Bullet Club is what I'm saying. What do you think?
Maybe. Obviously at that company, they do focus a lot on their colors, which that's the colors of the company. So Impact doesn't necessarily focus, because if you said what are Impact's colors, it's red.
This is true.
So I'd say black and red, obviously, which is also Wolfpack.
I was just gonna say Wolfpack.
So that would be, and they
Yeah.
do have a decent amount of red at times in their gear. I wouldn't say it's all the time, but if they were going to go that way, that would be the way I think they'd go. But I think really what they're trying to do is the ABC thing, at least for Impact, the Ace and Bay connection. But we'll see. I don't know if it's going to go beyond that. Like maybe if there's obviously stuff more in New Japan, it could be that way. But I think that's probably just internally for each other for these shows. Yeah. Because now, J-Bone, you know better than me, but I feel like the Bullet Club, Juice was there, but I don't think he was being featured that much. So I don't think they were really talking about Bullet Club until Jay White got there.
Yeah, he came in right away talking about being part of Bullet Club because he was wearing the Juice, the Rock Hard Bullet Club shirt. Oh, yeah. So it's just all really interesting. I just wanted to see what you thought about that. So
they could, but right now I would say now, obviously I know they're doing the Forbidden Door 2 show, I guess, or whatever they're calling it. Yeah. So maybe there's a connection there with that, or it's something in New Japan at some point. But for now, I think it's just probably for their own show, a Bullet Club storyline. Yeah. And obviously, who are we kidding? To sell merch.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about merch. They're a t-shirt company, right?
Sometimes wrestling.
They're all t-shirt companies in the end, right?
It's all about t-shirts.
That's right. Sell that merch. All right. Let's see what's next here. But yeah, super stoked for that Ultimate X match. That's going to be sick.
My guess is that will open the pay-per-view.
Oh,
Ultimate X is usually open shows because they have that whole system, the trusses set up. So then you have the match, you tear them down after before the next match. Because if not, they're kind of obtrusive for the rest of the matches.
Yeah,
you have them during the pre-show. You have them during the pre-show set up.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got Rosemary and JesSICKa talking about the Undead Realm and
looking for Taya.
And I laughed so hard when Rosemary opens up the the casket and she starts stomping up and down. That was so cartoonish, but I loved it. I don't mean cartoonish in a bad way. She's like, there's supposed to be a door here. What'd you think, man?
No, I liked it. I thought they've done a good job being a little different because obviously we've seen the Undead Realm. This is more like trying to get there, but not. Then going, well, is it the Coven? And then JesSICKa with the magic on how to get in. But obviously, right now it's Ty is missing. Don't know if they can get it back, but they're building up because now we know. Also on the pre-show, we're getting the Knockouts tag title match, the Coven with the defending in the rematch against JesSICKa and Rosemary.
Oh yeah. So
but no longer the Freebird.
No. They are kind of out of sorts right now, because Taya was the one always to reel in JesSICKa in a sense, or send her off in a direction that she knew she could trust her. Now, Rosemary, in a sense, is stuck in, I hate to say, for lack of better terms, babysitting mode. Not calling her JesSICKa a baby, but she JesSICKa's kind of ADD in the sorts of like, oh, shiny, and then she'll go off and she gets excited about whatever, and then now Rosemary's the one that has to like reel her in and no, you gotta chill, you can't. we got a job to do here. So we get JesSICKa with Rosemary in her corner versus Taylor Wilde and KiLynn King in her corner. Taylor Wilde getting the win here, leading into Rebellion. Not your typical booking, which is actually refreshing to see, because usually it's like, oh, okay, usually the challenger gets the win here, and then it's like, okay, then they absolutely deserve to, So not your typical match play here. I was all right with that.
Yeah, although now I'd have to look back. Was it last week or the week before? Didn't Rosemary get a win over her tag partner, KiLynn?
Say that again.
I think Rosemary beat KiLynn King a week or so ago. So she kind of got a win, but now it evened the field. It's just because, but it wasn't. You're right. Usually it's the most recent, but I believe it was a week or so ago. Sting can probably correct me. That
was at Sacrifice, wasn't it?
Or maybe it was a Sacrifice. Yes,
like a pre-show, something like that. Yeah,
Rosemary, I know, got a win over it. That's kind of makes you think, okay, they still should get a rematch. They're the former champions.
Yeah. So, but yeah, nonetheless, it should be good. Should be good. Then we get proof positive that Alicia is standing by her man. So the song goes,
ride or die, J-Bone. Ride or die.
Your man. No, that's not how it goes, but anyways. Ride or die. Yes, absolutely. She is standing by Eddie in order to get rid of the monster PCO. And we might as well talk about that other promo that we saw later. It was short but sweet. This Eddie, or excuse me, PCO showing off his gnarly teeth. My God.
The last rites, J-Bone. The last rites.
Last rites. I saw a poster getting shared around the.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
The internets. Yeah. Very cool. Eddie versus PCO. Can't wait for that. So it's a coffin match, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now there was a previous last rites match a while back. Trying to remember who was in it. It was a couple years ago, I think. But
yeah, and that's one that they haven't had a ton of them, which is good. You know, you got to be careful with gimmick matches like that. Oh, this is interesting. Little knowledge shared by Anna here. Says, fun fact, I told Alicia to turn heel and join Eddie. Wow, she might have taken your advice.
Well, and we just got to say, like, her with this angle, obviously we get Lish more on TV, and I think this is great for Lish. Her, like, being that heel valet, I think's fantastic.
It is. And she's not like, I'm trying to think of like the great heel valets in history. What was the one that used to, what was the one she's not around anymore, sadly, but she used to come out
Sherry
with
Martel.
Yeah, Sherry Martel. She's not a sensational Sherry, you know, she's not that super charismatic, but she is down to earth like Eddie is. Eddie's not this over the top guy. He's your blue collar guy. You know,
I like to say, because obviously we saw the angle years ago where Eddie kind of like turned in Tommy Dreamer type character in a lot of ways when he was in that feud with him. And Tommy in ECW had Beulah, and Lish is his Beulah.
Yeah. So in that sense, it fits totally, and that's a great comparison.
And speaking of, David Penzer with Sherry was the best. Huge fan of Sherry Martel.
What's up, Dave?
She did it. She was, and I always say the valet. Managers in general and the valet in wrestling, they've gone away almost, and they were so good in the business. Not since the days of the IPWF. The valet work.
I tell you, David Penzer, I gotta say, I saw a younger version of yourself today. I was watching some classic Rey Mysterio matches where he was unmasked in the classic WCW, where he was tagging with Conan, and you were in the ring announcing, I believe it was against Hogan and Nash, and I was like, "Hey, there's David Penzer." So yeah, had to quick mention that. Great to see you here. Thank you.
And don't forget, Sherry, briefly in TNA.
Really?
Do you know the angle? See,
No.
It wasn't as part of the throwback because it's when all the great managers were courting Bobby Roode. It was Sherry. It was Bobby Heenan. It was a good angle, but it was.
Wow. That is something. No, I don't remember that.
Check it out. It's probably on the YouTube or Impact Plus or something.
I was gonna say, I know it wasn't back when we were doing the.
No, it was Orlando.
Way past or the Asylum days,
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, Courtney, I miss Bobby Roode too. Yes,
Bobby Roode.
Yeah. Hopefully he's recovering well. I believe he had some kind of surgery.
Oh, and you know what? This is a far about thing. We should have said it in the news section, J-Bone. Speaking of Bobby Roode, where does my mind go? Team Canada. And what member of Team Canada did you hear the news that came out that a certain guy that had left Impact last year, November, that's what was October? One Eric Young.
Yes.
And everyone's been like, well, where's Eric Young? He never showed up anywhere. But supposedly he's been under contract since November. He just not been used.
Right. They're paying him. And at this point, I almost would have assumed, I always say don't assume, but I almost would have assumed that they were using him for a backstage, coach or whatever, something. But no, he's still at home, which is fine for a while if it means, it's like, okay, let him heal up for a while, and then
whenever he's ready, though, that guy's too good not to be used.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. But now what's funny is the news is coming out that they're in a hiring freeze. So who knows what's going to happen? And then I'm not saying
you hear hiring freeze, but all I hear about is certain celebrities being signed left and right.
Well, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of different things out there, but nonetheless, we hope we see Eric getting used wisely in the soon and near future. That's all we can hope for.
And no matter what, we know where home always is.
But how the hell do you bring back a debt? Oh, wait a minute. PCL's part of the roster. Never mind. I already answered the question.
You can bring back anybody, Jay.
It's like the soap operas. Oh, they killed Luke. Oh, well, yeah. Well, he came back years later. Or whatever, kind of fairy tale they brought people back from. Where's that Disney? Never mind. Let's continue.
Backstage again, J-Bo.
Backstage. A lot of backstage stuff. Was it the Jordan Grace segment?
Jordan Grace.
Okay, I didn't write this one down, but she's talking about
she wants a rematch with Mickie.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Back.
Yeah, yeah. So she's gonna have to wait like everyone else. Then we had, which I thought was just a lot of fun. Dirty Dango and Joe Hendry versus Alan Angels and Callihan. And we Dirty Dango and Joe Hendry get the win, and it's because Callihan has another whoops in the ring and attacks his own partner, but then Khan attacks Dango and Hendry at the end, which brings down. Oh, I can't do the Cobra thing. I can't. I'm not that talented. Santino Marella comes down and says, "You son of a gun." Cobra, yes. I was cracking up the whole time at Dirty Dango, man. He's so entertaining.
Dirty Dango is awesome. I'm enjoying all these, but now the thing is, because I remember I saw Dango a few times, like at different indie things. He did Control Your Narrative with EC3 briefly. And it's like, okay, like he was kind of doing a little this, a little that. But it feels like since he's been in Impact, and I know it's part of like references to some of his up north stuff, but it feels like his character is really coming into his own. And the deputy director of Authority, I'm loving it. The dynamic with Santino, it's fantastic.
Right.
But even the stuff with like, it's like, what is this tag team Frankenstein of Joe Hendry and Dirty Dango? But it works. It works.
It does. It does. It's is it something that's gonna, go to the top of the heap? Probably not. But for what it's worth, it's damn fun to watch, because it can't, like I said, it can't be all tax and blood and steel chairs and insanity. You gotta have a flow to the show, and this is part of it. Little ha ha, little. What the hell is he doing? He's dancing. He's shaking his tushy.
But the dancing, and then obviously he was doing the crotch chop before, and like it's funny. It's funny.
Right.
He need some of that, like Swinger, Ziggy. They give you some of the comedy, but he gives you a little bit more higher in the card comedy.
Yeah.
Which is like he's winning matches and having some comedy.
Oh yeah.
What you need that blend. You can't be all serious. You can't be like all supernatural. You gotta have a little mix of everything.
Right.
And you need some comedy in there.
Yeah, good stuff. A lot of fun. So then, and it's a preview to what's going to happen at Rebellion, and we'll go over all that in a little bit. We get the promo on Josh losing his title because he had to forfeit it. Kushida and Macklin being involved in this title race now. Great stuff. Then, of course, like I said, we get the PCO promo. He's just screaming with his black teeth into the camera. It's insane. Then we get the big, like, official reveal here. Bully revealing who his team is. You got Kenny King, Brian Myers, Moose, and Masha Slamovich. And of course, you got the Good Hands there too, just for good measure. But they're not officially part of the match. But I'm sure they'll be there. They'll be around somewhere.
Oh yeah. They'll play a part at some point.
I'm sure. Yeah. So, but good. It's as much as I may not be on Team Bully. He cut a good promo here. Basically, revealing everything. It's like, how do you How do you prepare for a team like this? He's got some all-star players on their bill.
He does. That team looks even stronger than it did a week ago. No doubt. But and Bully always delivers. Like, you can question Bully on a lot of things, but Bully giving a promo that's always him at the top of his game.
And the biggest switch is the move of Myers and Moose. You know, I mean, because they were all about bringing down Joe Hendry, and now, like, whoa, we got a complete switching gears here. Last minute, it's it's the 8th inning. We're almost done here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're last second here, but and I know there were some people talking like Moose wasn't even scheduled to be on the card until just now. So great to see it, because I saw Moose in action locally at PPW this past Saturday, and he had a singles match with Bro Keller, and it was great to see. Like, it was probably a good 15, 18-minute match, but once again, seeing Moose do everything, and let's just say good guy Moose, which is always fun to see. But this was now knowing he's going to be Team Bully, which is, I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of interaction during this match. Will Team Bully get along? Or, as I like to say, Team Bobby get along?
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray. Then we got a really interesting match here. I can't wait to hear your opinion on this, because this went all over the place. We had Gisele Shaw versus a returning Tasha Steelz. Now, I never preach to assume stuff, but I was assuming that Tasha was going to win this one. But I tell you what, Gisele looked strong through like 90% of this match.
Yeah, I think I said it.
Really did.
There. This may have been Gisele's best match in Impact.
It definitely.
And she's had some good matches. She's had some good matches, but it was great seeing Tasha back and the match they put on. They gave this, when we're talking about time, this match got a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it was well worth it. Match of the night, for sure.
Yeah.
But I know, like, kind of, it's been a thing, like, Gisele's been getting the different title shots, not successful, but putting on performances like this is keeping her in the conversation for
totally
being in there for title shots, because this was a great match, and the knockouts just continue to kill it. Like, I know we haven't gone to the ending yet, but obviously there's a big issue now in the division, but there's many strong competitors that we're going to see. Deanna versus Jordan 3, and then you have Gisele and Tasha doing this, Masha in the Hardcore War, obviously everybody in the Knockouts tag match. It's a wealth of talent right now in the Knockouts division.
Totally.
And Killer Kelly's in that match too. Like, it's loaded. But they had a great match and just continued improvement. Because I honestly, at the Multiverse show, Gisele was fantastic in that match as well.
Oh, that was, you talk about a match where all the women shined. Holy cow.
Yes.
That was amazing. Definitely one of the highlights of the weekend. All right, so but yeah, Tasha Steelz, and I don't mean to sound negative about this, but she squeaks out a win here. I mean, the way she won,
it was close. It was close.
I was like, wait, that's what she used to win the match? I was a little surprised, because
that was the one surprise, because it did seem for how it was going and all, it was just kind of like, and it's over. Like it was kind of abrupt the way it ended, which is maybe for a match like that, that is the best way for it to end.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, because a lot of stuff becomes so, I hate saying predetermined when talking about this, but it's like it goes through emotion, the setup into the finish. And
move, kick out, move, kick out, move.
And then that's what I like to criticize is that trend of you hit the finisher and then you hit it again or something right after a second finisher. And that's the end. So seeing something that maybe wasn't expected to be like, oh, that's it. That's the match. It ended. It's a little surprising, which is can be the preference because you get so much of how you see it should be formatted. Yeah. Going a little bit different or against the grain, I think is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is as grateful as I am to see Tasha Steelz back. I gotta give most of the props to Gisele here. She absolutely shined like a star.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So and I don't know. I'm not going to blame it on. I'm not going to say that Tasha Steelz has ring rust. I'm not going to be that guy to just assume what's going on.
Where's Larry D?
Where's he? Yeah. Yeah. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to see Tasha. I can't wait to see what happens next for her in the tapings to start some kind of new story, or maybe they'll continue it. Who knows what they're going to do? Are they going to continue this? Is it going to be a battle for Savannah Evans?
Could be.
There's
that connection.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Now, but then we get to this, J-Bone.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That. Just because I said Larry D, it reminded me of Steamy Saban from Wrestling. And we just got to give props because Impact did a very nice this past week. 20 years of Chris Sabin.
Yeah.
His 20-year anniversary in the company.
That's crazy.
20 years ago. So just kudos to a guy, and we've talked about it, obviously. Major surgeries, especially with what you got going on, J-Bone.
Yeah.
And he's better now than he's ever been.
Oh, he's on a different level. I mean, he has a completely different body type too. And that's like I think you could almost say is the biggest part of it. Like he came in and he's not a tall guy, but man, he was jacked. He was like a mini, I don't want to say Goldberg, but he was jacked like a Goldberg type. And yet doing X Division stuff. And now he's like lean and mean, but he's still doing all the same stuff and better because he's such a seasoned performer. So yeah, congratulations to Chris Sabin. Man, it's now correct. Now when I saw I'm not trying to poo-poo this in any way, so please don't take it as that. But I thought he left the company for a while and went to New Japan, or was it just a stint?
Oh no. He debuted 20 years ago. He doesn't have 20 years in Impact the whole time. He obviously was left at times. He's been in and out over the years.
Okay.
But yeah, 20 years since that debut match.
Okay. Yeah. And for those of you who may not be familiar with it, if you are curious and taking a trip down memory, wow, words. What are they even? Memory lane. There we go. I need more caffeine. Trent, Bill, and myself went down memory lane and we reviewed all of the Asylum episodes 1 through 111. I believe it was.
I believe so. 111, 112, 1 something.
Yeah. And they watched it as fans watching them again. I watched them as being like a brand new fan in that era. I watched 1 episode a week and it was amazing. Yeah, and there were pluses and pros and cons to everything we watched, but we watched it with such love and constructive criticism. What's that?
It's a good time. It's a good time.
It
And
was.
yeah, like, is there some stuff that goes? Yeah, remember, it was a new company finding itself. But some of the stuff they put together, you got to remember, early NWA TNA is pretty much the remnants of the end of WCW and ECW.
Yeah. Right. And the
and
best,
a little territory wrestling.
right. Yeah. The best of the indies / territories in the South there, where you had guys like AJ Styles, America's Most Wanted, and guys like that coming up in the business. And then you had a whole slew of people coming down from Canada with Scott D'Amore, like a young Bobby Roode, a young Eric. Oh my God, my brain.
Eric Young, Showtime.
Showtime Eric Young, and that whole Team Canada, which already in the Asylum days went through a few different phases, but it was also entertaining to watch. Even a Jack Evans, or a young
Team
CM
Canada,
Punk.
Teddy Hart and Jack Evans.
Yeah, not that CM Punk was part of Team Canada, but that was.
But he was.
I love CM Punk, so it was great to see what he was.
Wait,
doing
you mentioned
with
CM Punk in TNA. Is that why it's trending?
Oh, of course. This is me we're talking about here. No, I'm kidding. No, I hear little things about what the best in the world in Chicago is doing, but we won't get into that here. I don't want to start the channel on fire.
There is absolutely garbage in here.
Oh, here we go. So, last but certainly not least on the episode, we get the reveal from Mickie James, the emotional reveal from Mickie James. Hardcore Country! That's right. Good old Hardcore Country herself. Whether she's going to be part of the Rebellion Knockouts Championship match or not. And what do we find out, Bill?
Find out she will not be part of the Knockout Championship match. She is not cleared to compete. That she will be forfeiting the title. And we got to talk about, I know they kind of did a thing. I know a lot of people, I think, are talking about it. The way they did it was like that the crowd left. And she came into the empty arena to make the announcement, and they were screening over to like Jordan. And then we talked about at the beginning of the show, she leaves the belt, she leaves her hat. It felt like a retirement as opposed to just an injury.
Yeah.
But I think we both are in agreement. We don't think that's the case here. It feels like a break.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And there hasn't been any news of, we hear news that so-and-so is leaving Impact and going to said company. There isn't any of that kind of, it's not like when Eric Young was killed off and 5 minutes after, not even 5 minutes after the show, and the news broke that, somebody's already back from the dead and going to said company, so it's not like that. I wouldn't have any doubt in my mind that I'm sure somebody would still want her to be part of their roster. So, but I have not heard any news like that. I'm sure she's just going to take some time off, and I'm sure she'll be back in a few months. But she has always been absolute 100% full of class and
a great ambassador for the company.
Absolutely.
And honestly, one of
for
the biggest
wrestling in general.
The biggest, let's say, impact of it is she is a big draw. she like tickets, viewers tune in for Mickie. So that's one of the biggest names they have in the company for sure. So that's a loss when she's not there. But it feels like, if I had to guess, Slammiversary.
Okay.
Slammiversary, I think she's back at Slammiversary. Could that be her return, or could she return maybe a tapings before that to do some type of? And here's the whole thing: if she comes back, which I think we both believe she is she the same Mickie James we just saw, or is she a heel Mickie James?
Yeah, she's been nothing but positive, like, ever since she came back. You know, even when she was
a complete face. Like there was times during the stuff with Chelsea where maybe it felt like she might do a turn, like we always think that Jordan might turn, but that doesn't happen. But what do we see? Like if she's going after the title again, and it's against a face champion or a heel champion, because right now, kind of Jordan and Deanna are both kind of face right now. The Jordan's definitely a face, but Deanna's kind of face. And her hat. She does need her hat back.
Yeah. Like Gary Rossetti here says in the chat, says Mickie left her hat, so she is coming for the belt and her hat.
Her hat.
I love it. Why don't you play one more for Mickie as we get into the card for this weekend?
Mickie, as they say, it's not goodbye. See you down the road.
Hardcore country. Yeah, we love you, Mickie. We'll see you. All right, now let's jump into the card for this weekend. It's a loaded one, and this is one that kind of snuck up on us. It feels like it doesn't because there's been like so much. There was number one, there was Sacrifice. Number two, there was the Multiverse, the show with New Japan. And now a couple weeks later, there's this. So you had everything leading up to WrestleCon weekend. And now this, it's like, man, crazy. Zach Bonifer says that Bison stole her hat. All right. I'm not sure how you know that, but
Wow, he's Eric Parn.
We'll have to have a chat with Bison. Damn it, Bison. You don't want to piss off Mickie James. Anyways, all right. So let's go. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is pretty current because we got countdown matches now on here too. All right. Yes. So we got the Countdown to Rebellion, which is going to be free on YouTube and on Impact Plus. So we got Heath and Rhino versus. He's got kids. Good old Heath versus Champagne Singh and Shira. But I'm still not used to that Champagne name, but it'll roll off the tongue soon.
It'll grow on you.
Yeah. It's still very new. I also love on the event page here is where it says to get tickets. It's crossed out.
I like that.
Also, yeah, so it's sold out. Great news. Also, so you can order it on Fight or YouTube. That's new.
Yeah, you can actually. I saw that on the site. So if you're a member, Ultimate Insider, they have that option there to buy it on the YouTube site.
Yeah. So, but it's the same price. It's $40. So, be nice if you were an Ultimate Insider that you gave you, $5 off or something, but that's all right. I'll take it. Got to support the company. Also on the Countdown to Rebellion, we get the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match. The Coven, which is Taylor Wilde and KiLynn King defending against they're still calling them the Death Dolls on here. We got Rosemary and
they're still the Death Dolls. Two reptiles.
Just doesn't feel like the same, All right. The match that may or may not kick off the pay-per-view, at least I think it may. I know you thought it might be the tag match, but I think it's going to be this one. We'll have to wait and see. We got the X Division title on the line. Trey Miguel defending the X Division championship against Jonathan Gresham and Mike Bailey. I tell you, Bill, if you're not a fan of what is probably going to be the main event, man, you got a slew of matches here on the card that'll absolutely, you could throw in a contender for probably either match of the month or match of the year.
Yeah, and this one, the X Division title match, can definitely be one of those candidates. Bailey's been doing it all the time. Trey Miguel's been having them all the time. And Jonathan Gresham, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. So
yes.
This can't help but being a great match.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could throw a slight prediction in here, it kind of feels like it did at Sacrifice, where Trey Miguel is the one to squeak out a win because there's so much chaos going on. I don't know. I think it may be harder this time, but it surely is. It's not going to be anything less than amazingly entertaining. Can't wait. We got a last rights match. We got Eddie Edwards with Lish in his corner. Or you may tell her to stay in back because it's too dangerous. Or who knows what's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see. Versus PCO. He ain't human. Yes, and by all means, let us know in the chat.
Oh, yeah, let us know.
Let us know who you think is going to win. We used to do a thing where we went around and really did give our predictions. Now I just kind of go over the card and give our 2 cents on it.
Unless you have a strong feeling you want to convey, Jebba.
You're right. Oh, man. This is interesting. I didn't know this. Hello, Eli, and the Impact Faithful podcast. Good to see you. Says it's been announced that Rebellion can be ordered at PSN, the premier streaming network. I'll have to check that out. I'm assuming it'd be for the same price. That is one of those new streaming sites that just launched within the last couple months. They got some different independent wrestling shows on there. I think MLW's on there. Don't quote me on that one. We'll have to see. But yeah, good to see. Good to see. Hey, the more options, the better.
Yeah, no, the more ways you can get eyeballs on stuff, the better.
Yeah, so whether you use your cable system or Fight or YouTube or PSN, whatever, please. $40. Skip some coffee.
Now, speaking of J-Bone, are you expecting to be around on Sunday for a post-Rebellion review?
I should be. Yeah, because I'm off work now, sadly. But yes. So
I may have to join during, because I'm staying a little farther outside from the venue than I normally do. Okay. Normally, when I go to Toronto, I stay on top of the strip club, but I decided to stay at a little cheaper of a venue, which is tough to say something, but it was still expensive because you're so close. You're in the city, which is like minutes away from the Rebel. But now I'm staying I think it's about 25 minutes out.
I thought you said that strip club had such a great buffet.
Hey, legs and eggs all day, Jay. But But hey, come on, a lot of travel. Got to cut costs where we can. So we're going to stay a little farther out this time. Can't spend all our money there.
Oh man, you just behave yourself, Bill. Don't get in any trouble. No, I'm kidding. Have all the fun you want. Oh, that cracks me up.
I want to do anything J-Bone wouldn't do.
Right. I'm a retired slut. You can have my card now.
Well, let's not forget what that guy looked like.
Jiminy Christmas. Oh yeah, that guy was just breaking hearts all over. That kid, I tell you, what happened to him? All right, next we got the design, consisting of, well, it shows all 4 of them here, but I don't know which 4 are in the match. Is it obviously Callihan's a part of this? Who of the design is not in this match? Because they're facing Joe Hendry, Dirty Dango, and Santino Marella, but it just says the design.
Let's see who's sitting it out. Either Con or Angels. I
wouldn't think it's
oh yeah, unless Diener was acting like the manager. Let's see.
I would think Diener's in the match, but
I don't think it's confirmed. They didn't really confirm it.
I thought they said during the show tonight, but I don't know. If anybody knows, drop it in the chat.
I'm seeing if there's a fresh graphic online.
Yeah. Yeah, if it says one way or another. Yeah. All right, well, we'll come back to that one. But nonetheless, that one's got the return of Santino Marella. He's gonna
son of a gun.
He's a son of a gun. And where is he gonna hit him?
In the scrotissimus region.
That's right, Santino. You hit him in that scrotissimus region. All right, next we got I love that guy. Cobras for everyone. You get a Cobra. You get a Cobra. We got the Ultimate X match. We got Motor City Machine Guns going after the Impact World Tag Team Championship. The Bullet Club. The Ace and Bay Connection. Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending those championships. Man, that's going to be just sick. I can't wait. So I love
Sabin, Shelley, Austin, Bay, Ultimate X titles on the line. So 2 titles will be up there, not 1. Or will X?
Is it for everything? I think it's just for the Impact World Tag Team Championship.
Oh yeah, but I assume both the 2 belts for Impact will be up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, both tag. Yeah, you don't mean the Strong and the Impact. You just mean the 2 Impact belts.
Yeah.
But
I'll be very interested to see that.
Yeah. This may be the true passing of the torch moment. You know what I mean? I love me some Motor City Machine Guns, but I'm all in on the ABC here.
Yeah,
it's as easy as 1, 2, sweet.
Now it feels like they need to keep the belts, but I'll never argue that much with the Machine Guns winning. But it feels like to really establish the ABC Bullet Club, they need to win this match.
Oh yeah. Jeez, don't make it easy on them or anything either. My God. Oh yeah. All right. Next we got Team Dreamer versus Team Bully in a hardcore war. This is going to be nuts. So we got Team Dreamer consisting of Killer Kelly, Kaz, Bhupinder Gujar, and Yuya Uemura, and Team Bully with some new members joining just as of tonight. Brian Myers, Moose, Masha, and Kenny King. K-I-N-G King. I tell you, Bill, it doesn't look good for Team Dreamer. It really doesn't. They got a lot of fresh meat on there.
It's tough. With the addition of Moose and Myers, you know there's going to be shenanigans. But right now, I hate to say it, it feels like somehow Tommy's not going to like the end of this match.
Yeah. Or maybe someone turns on Bully. Who knows?
Well, this is, and I think I heard someone say it earlier, but Moose feels like the guy that will not deal with Bully well.
Yeah, like something happens during the match, or it's already been predetermined, because this team of Myers and Moose is actually really interesting. You know?
Yeah, so far they're getting along pretty well.
Yeah, they are. It's weird, but it works.
It works.
It works. Yeah.
But
especially if they don't believe in
enjoy
Joe.
Seeing Moose just freaking spear Bully Ray into a
oblivion.
Yeah, that might be pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
And as stated here.
Yes.
It is true. He does like scumbags. He likes them a lot.
Because I like scumbags.
Oh, wow, he really does.
It's not a lie. Not a lie.
But does he like them enough to spear them? We'll have to wait and see. All right. So next, okay. So now we had the deciding factor here, finding out no Mickie James in the Knockouts Championship match. So it is going to be a new champion either way here. Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo. This is going to be a banger.
Yeah, this, once again, another match of the night competitor. Like we've seen these two go at it. I'll never forget. Like they had, I dare say, one of the best matches of the year when they had the Iron match, the Iron Woman match. And yeah. I remember a certain wrestling journalist did not give that match the credit it deserved. And that's, if you ever take J-Bone, I got to do a little musical interlude because at that time, this wasn't considered one of the great matches, can only be referred to as a little bit of what we like to say is fake wrestling news.
Longing for that fake wrestling news. Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
I'm seeing some interesting reactions to what we got the Knockouts Championship on the line, and then realizing that someone's better half, or depending on how you look at it, is in the next match. So
we could have. We've had it before. We've had it with Johnny and Taya, with Rich and Sue. So we've had power couples, acknowledged or not acknowledged, really.
Right.
There's obviously a very good chance of it happening that they're both in the match. If I had to lean one way, I think Macklin is more of the favorite. I think his chances, Vegas odds, are telling me Macklin is the favorite.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Grace, though, is probably the favorite, even though Deonna has beaten her. It just feels like Jordan Grace has momentum right now. So now hold on, we got a super sticker from Ronan Blue. Thank you, Ronan.
Thank you, Ronan.
Y'all didn't mention Swann is going to Triple Mania to face Vikingo, Swerve from AEW, and Commander at Triple Mania this Sunday. Good luck, Rich.
Oh, interesting.
That is true. Rich Swann, not on the card.
Wow.
But
He
obviously
was
there's
on
a
TV,
AAA
though.
relationship. So that is true. Thank you, Ronan Blue, for that. And Rich Swann, sadly, at least for Sunday, maybe Monday, we'll be back. We don't know. Will not be at
Impact Wrestling!
Okay, Scott. Damn.
Tell us
So
what
are
you
we?
mean.
Yeah, right. So are we gonna get Macklin and Deonna, or will we have a better chance of seeing Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham as champions?
Oh, you're right with the X title. So there's that chance as well.
Yeah. It's a
That'd
possibility.
That would be, I'm trying to think. Would that be a first? I think that would be a first.
It'd
X
be the
Division and Knockouts couple. I think so.
yeah. If Gresham wins, it's going to be his first title in the company.
Yes.
And he had being on Impact Television before, he had a title, but it was Ring of Honor. He was the world champion. And also he defended it as the pure champion, but that was before the whole TK debacle. Yes. Yeah. So, but now
the debacle.
Well, we'll see what happens. Either way, we're getting some new champions all around between the top two,
Now you can't go wrong. Like obviously Mickie was, we went into it when Mickie was to the division, but both when Deonna was at the top of the division, she was not only the knockout of the year, she was the wrestler of the year, Deonna, when she was champion. And Jordan Grace was just a powerhouse on her most recent title run. So either of them would be a well-deserving champion.
Oh yeah, yeah. So as we're talking about yeah, I'm reading that comment too. The greatest knockout couple, ODB and EY, LOL. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, either way, Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, you're getting a world-class athlete as your knockouts title holder. On to the main event then, is we kind of just rolled it all into one, which I shouldn't have, but it kind of just happened because of the relationship between husband and wife in there. But now we got Deonna's husband in the main event, Macklin, going after the Impact World Championship versus Kushida. And I was talking about Kushida earlier, and just liking his run and comparing it kind of to a Rey Mysterio type run, where Rey Mysterio was going after the world title at the time. It kind of has that feeling. It's special. I am rooting for Macklin because I've been Team Macklin for a while, loving his growth with the company and his character, how it's evolved. Face paint's pretty cool too. The trenches he wears. I'm a trench guy. But I love Kushida too. I even found one of his action figures in the wild. I don't know, it's somewhere back here. It was one of his elite figures, and he still looks the same, which is the best part. So I could look at the fig and be like, yeah, he still looks like that in Impact. So it's going to be a great match nonetheless. I'll be happy with whoever, honestly. That's not to sound like I don't care. No, I do. Do I wish Josh was a part of it? Yes, absolutely. I think a good majority of us do. But it is what it is. Injuries happen, and I think we're still going to have a hell of a match.
No, I'm with you. And same thing. I know it feels like forever ago when the early discussions were had that, like, who could be these next champions, and it was Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin could be this champion. And I know there's been times where it's like, okay, pull the trigger. Is it now? And that's right now. It's great representing. So Rich Swann, Laredo Kid, Taurus all at Triple Mania. Fantastic.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you can't be on the show because not everybody can, it's good to have that outlet that they'll be using. But Macklin, it feels like it's the time. I think it would have been the time against Josh, and what a reaction that would have got.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, though, by what they've been doing, what we saw tonight, no matter when Josh wins, when Macklin wins, if it was to beat Josh, or now if it could be Kushida, I think they'll get the response they want. Like I said, I have a long history of being a fan of Kushida. Yeah. So, but even though Macklin doesn't want us to cheer him, doesn't want our adulation.
Yeah.
Deep down, we've been there for the ride of Macklin. We've seen him grow, and we want to see that payoff in that title. So deep down, I will be watching and rooting for Steve to get this title. And who knows? I might show up in Team Macklin gear. You never know. It might kick me out of the country.
Oh man. This is true. This is up in Canada. You got to be careful. So, but hey, safe travels to you when you head up north there, hey. And you have a tremendous weekend. And
well, yeah, it's kind of a weird because it's Sunday. I'm not leaving till Sunday morning. So I'm leaving Sunday morning, and then I'll leave.
No, are you flying up there
Monday? No, I'll the Billmobile, it's back.
Oh, make sure it's tuned up.
Oh yeah,
especially if you're crossing the border, man.
No, I'll drive out to this, and we'll see. End of the month, Chicago, probably drive as well. But now we're getting the borderline. I'm sure for at least one or two of this, I'll probably fly out to Chicago.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping I make the show. Period. But
yes,
let's get through this. Let's get through this next week first. You know, one day at a time.
Now let's see. It's next Thursday, obviously. When's the surgery scheduled?
Tuesday.
So a couple days later. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jay, if the TNI Fam doesn't see you, we're all wishing you the best for something quick, successful, and then obviously we'll all be here on your road to recovery, where you're a better bone than ever.
Better bone, yes, absolutely. We'll make a special recovery T-shirt. Maybe we'll see. So instead of a slug fest in Chicago, it'll be Bone Fest for recovery.
Bone Fest.
Yes, or I'll make the what was mentioned last week. It actually sounded really good. Is we'll make a Bone Zone T-shirt or something. Who knows?
Bone Zone.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bone Zone.
Welcome to the Bone Zone. That sounds a little egotistical though, like it's my show. No, it's our show. Always our show. I just have a lot of pride in the group. So, all right. Much love, everyone. Thank you for joining. Can't wait to see what happens this Sunday. If you're watching this on the replay, leave it in the comments below. Who's your pick for the win? Who you hoping for? Whatnot? You know, do you think we're going to get any surprises? Should be a blast, though. And nonetheless, everyone have a tremendous rest of your week going into this weekend. And on your way out, as always, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say goodnight, Bill.
Good night.